Hello, Suns fans. This is Suns Latest. I am Rich Rubin. As of this recording, 1,200 subscribers plus a few more. Thank you very much. Thank you to Fan Arch. And mostly thank you for your comments and your suggestions and your corrections. I know I get all butthurt when, like, I said that right. But you know what? When you call me out for something that I do wrong, I might be snarky in the comments, but I will always, always thank you for it, especially if I'm legitimately 100% wrong about something. So I appreciate all that. That's what makes this a whole lot of fun. So let's get to it. Here's the quote. I've actually got my ring fitted for my middle finger so they can kiss that one. That's from Andrew Bogut. You forget, Andrew Bogut was the #1 overall draft pick, and he didn't flounder, but he was in Milwaukee, and he was good. He was a wide body. He was an adequate offensive player. He was a pretty good rebounder and defender. Nothing spectacular. But then he goes to the Warriors, and he becomes that guy, along with Draymond, where you have all this offensive firepower. You don't need a fifth guy to shoot. And he filled that role really nicely for them. And I always like Andrew Bogut and his Australian attitude and just his whole demeanor on the court. He played hard. He played hard, he worked hard, and then he played hard again, and he had a really good attitude, and he lasted a long time in the NBA. Really cool guy, Andrew Bogut. All right, so I'm not going to get too down on the Suns for losing to the Thunder on Friday night. It was first of a back-to-back against the best two teams in the West and the league. These are the teams that most people are predicting that it's either the Nuggets or the Thunder that are going to win the title. I mean, off the top of your head, who else has a shot? And at least what's it shaking out to be right now? I can't even right now. I can't even think of a good team in the East. I mean, I'm like, who's good in the East? It's going to come out of the West this year. All NBA selection Jaden McDaniels had been injured, but he decided to make his return against us. So for the most part, they were at full strength. We lost, in the words of Coach Ott, no excuses, but we took it to the champs in their house, and it could have gone either way. I have nothing negative to say about that game. We had them. They had us, we had them. They had us, we had them. We fought them straight, and it was a really good loss. And that sounds weird, but we fought them straight. The Thunder are a scary team, superstars, crazy depth, a lot of youth, good contracts, arguably the next big dynasty. They'll probably repeat. They go on to win by 4 points, and they're lucky it was only that. 123-119. Great game. Came down to the wire. League MVP, SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 37 points. What else is new? Leads the league in scoring. 15 in the final 7 minutes on 4 of 5 shooting. He is very good. We're going to get to him in just a second. Our guys fought hard. Gillespie led us. I think it's the second time in a row, and he got the start. 24 points. Book had 21, 8 rebounds. Dylan Brooks had 19, even with the loss, as we were undefeated. And cut play coming in, we advanced to the round of 8. Whoop-de-doo. The Thunder also advanced. In the fourth, we cut the lead to 1 couple of times. Colin, Gillespie, and SGA trading threes near the end. Book's shooting slide continues. Something's going on with Book. 5 for 13, 2 of 7 on threes. 5 turnovers as well. He's been on a slide for about a week. Thank God for Colin Gillespie. 9 for 16, 6 for 11. 3 boards, 4 assists, 4 turnovers, but he had the ball in his hands a whole lot longer than he normally does. 13 points and 14 rebounds from Mark Williams, who should be in the running for most improved player. If he can maintain. Think if Mark Williams does this for the next 3 to 5 years for the Suns. He's young enough. He'll be going down as the best center we ever had. If he's this kind of player, because he impacts the game. I love his game. I love his hustle. I love his unselfish play. Can anyone tell me what I'm missing regarding Nigel Hayes-Davis? I started off really high on him. I liked his cerebral mind. I liked how he approached the game cerebrally. I like how he was this badass scorer in EuroLeague and overseas. 0 for 2, 0 for 1 on threes. He's supposed to be a scorer, right? And a good three-point shooter. And he got some minutes over the weekend. What am I missing? Am I giving up on him too soon? I'm trying to figure out what he's doing for us in limited minutes. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm missing it. Here's something. 17 trips to the free throw line for SGA, 24 for the entire Suns team. Book went 11 times. He made 9. I'm waiting for Silver and the refs to decide when they'll start calling excessive palming and pushing off and obvious offensive fouls on guys like SGA. Do you remember when James Harden won the MVP? Do you remember the next year when he didn't fall off too much, but he definitely wasn't as effective and the Rockets weren't as good? Do you remember the year after that, he was barely an all-star? It's because the refs stopped calling all the ticky-tack crap and the flopping. They just stopped calling it. You know, his little thing with the beard, he grew the beard longer, and it looked like he was really getting hacked when he was not getting touched. Guys might have been crowding him, but they're allowed to crowd him. He deliberately land on guys' feet after he come down from the 3 to get a foul. He wasn't that dominant anymore, and he's never gotten close to his MVP season. Hey, look, a lot of guys fall after their MVP season. Harden's always going to be good offensively, but Harden, to his credit, figured out a way to still get his buckets without doing that extra stuff. SGA right now has the benefit of the doubt. I want it called on everyone, okay? I want it called on Book. If you're relying so much on it, breaking ankles isn't really that big a deal anymore. You can hold the ball like this, and your defender doesn't know where you're going to go, and you can fake this way and go this way while you're still holding the ball. That's palming. That's traveling. It's simply that. You're traveling before you make your move, so it's not that impressive that a guy stumbles backwards. It's unguardable, and it's against the rules. It's in the rule book. Call freaking palming. It's obnoxious. Very good effort from our guys without Grayson, without Jalen, and without Ryan Dunn. I'm not going to get too into it. If you saw the game, even if you saw the highlights, you saw what we did with the best team in the league on their home floor. No regrets. I have no problem with that loss. I thought we had that game. Nuggets at Suns on Saturday. So this, and I don't like to admit stuff like this, I just felt like, man, this is a back-to-back against the other best team in the league. Now, we were at home, and we had Grayson Allen back, but still no Ryan Dunn. And Ryan Dunn against a team like the Nuggets, you kind of need that. Now, I think Aaron Gordon was out, and they started forming on Cam Thomas, who's kind of been struggling. He chose to have a decent game against the Suns, which makes sense. So at Mortgage Matchup Center, the other team in the West that has the second best chance of winning the title, and right after Thanksgiving. So, you're carrying around a lot of turkey and stuffing. Not cool, NBA, but again, no excuses. Grayson Allen returns. Bad thigh bruise. He missed basically 2 weeks. And right when he got injured, we were just rolling. And Booker was doing better, less double teams with Grayson on the floor. He helped. He's still a little off, a little rusty. Obviously, he went for 10 points. Green and Ryan Dunn still on IR. Everyone got into this game. We looked a little pooped, maybe. And again, no excuses, but we usually give the Nuggets a good fight. And it seemed like we were giving them a good fight, and then it just kind of stopped. And we got beat by a very good Denver team, 130 to 112. Dylan Brooks is a freaking all-star. 27 on 10 of 18, 2 of 6 for 3, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, 0 turnovers, and hustle, and defense. How badly do we need this guy? I am a full-on Dylan Brooks fan now, and I used to hate him, but he's on my team. Book cannot hit a 3. 0 for 4, 5 for 11 from the field, but he is getting to the line and making his free throws. 14 out of 15 for Book, 24 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 turnover, but he was a minus 16. That's bizarre, but his shooting is really bad, and his three-point shooting, I don't know. Tell me what I'm watching him shoot. It looks right. It looks okay, yes? What is going on with his threes? He was always around 39, right? It's not good. Oso started and filled in well for load management. Mark Williams, 8 rebounds, 8 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, missed all 3 of his free throws. As good as Oso was, we need all big men for that game against Joker, who in my humble opinion is the MVP. He was last year as far as I'm concerned, 26 points. Didn't miss a shot, 7 for 7, 2 for 2 on threes, 10 for 11 on free throws, 9 rebounds, 10 assists in 31 minutes. Is there a more efficient player in the league? Rhetorical. Nice to see former son Cam Johnson doing well after a rocky start. Sort of. 15 points, 5 for 9, 3 for 6, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Jamal Murray always gives us hell because he and Book love going at it, former Kentucky Wildcats. It's one of the best rivalries in the league among just players without like really bad blood. They seem to be icy with each other, but it's not like they're going to fight. They get in each other's face, they yap at each other, but they also usually have their best games. He got the best of Book on Saturday. 24, 8 of 18, 5 for 10 on threes. Definitely got the best of Book on that. Nuggets shot, you ready for this? 68% from the field. 58% from the field, 58% from 3. You're not going to beat that. 95% from the line, and we were 44, 33, and 77. We got out rebounded 40 to 32, and overall, I think we just are a little bit pooped. Not being cynical or making excuses, but after the OKC game, I felt we might not have much of a chance against Denver. I mean, that's just logic. That's just life. This Suns team always has a chance, though, and which you can say this about that. You can say that about this team, 1,000% more than you can say about the team that we put on the floor last year. We are 12-9. In Los Angeles tonight against the Lakers. So we had Sunday off, and now we're going up against a tough competition. The Lakers are all healthy. Luka and Austin Reeves, both having all-star years. LeBron just came back, and he seems to be settling into the role of facilitator, which is Scary, because once he realizes he can do what Wilt did in his last couple of years and lead the league in assists, the Lakers will be that much better if LeBron does not look to score first. He's an excellent facilitator. He always has been. The game's at 8. You can watch it on Peacock. By the generosity of a good pal, I am going to this game tonight. So the seats are 6 rows up. My friend has amazing seats. 6 rows up behind the southeast hoop. I never yell out loud, but I do get into it with the people around me. I don't wear Sun stuff. I'm just not that fan. But if a foul is BS, I'll go, you got lucky on that one. I will start that kind of crap. But I really don't care. And on a side note, if you've never been to a game at Crypto.com, we all still call it Staples out here. Let's see. Last time I went, John C. Reilly, Andy Garcia, Bieber, Bob Costas. That was really cool to see him. I wanted to say hi to him. I couldn't make it down to see him. John Wall, Scottie Pippen, Saweetie the pop singer. But mostly truckloads and truckloads and truckloads and truckloads of wannabes arriving in Hummer limos who really think they're important and have no idea that they're even at a Laker game or how privileged they are to be at a professional basketball game. The best part is watching Ayton sucks and the Lakers lose, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow. All right, so let's get to your comments. Let's see. Monkey Touch. Suns offensive rebound. Oh, before we get to the comments, hey, I got the book. I got Connie Hawkins' Foul. This is a third-generation copy, so there's a lot of typos, and it's clearly been read a lot and used, but it was pretty good for like $5 off Thrift Books. Don't use Abe Books. They suck. Use Thrift Books, because not only can you order your books from Thrift Books, I'm doing a plug because this is like the 10th time I've used this company, and there's never a problem with them. And if you want, they give you an extra bag, and you can sell the book back to them. So thank you. And this book is phenomenal. And what went on in the 60s, with the ABL, the ABA, and the NBA, and people trying to keep guys like Connie Hawkins out of the league, will piss you off. There were so many pricks back in the day. It is astounding. Back to your comments. Monkey Touch. Suns offensive rebounding seems night and day from last year. I remember so many one-and-done possessions last year. Yeah, nobody crashed the boards last year. I'm not sure about the actual numbers, but Mark Williams was the MVP of that game against the Kings. That was the last win we had. We've only lost 2 in a row. Relax. It's fine. Some of those boards look like something only he could have come down with. It's a huge improvement. And as I said earlier, Mark Williams is a big, big difference maker for us. When that guy's on the floor, we have a shot against anyone. He is a legit, real NBA center, and I love the guy. Alan Snow, how do you not know how to pronounce Giannis? Come on now, LOL. This is embarrassing. And I watched that part again, the last Suns latest, or 2 Suns latest ago. I was calling Giannis Antetokounmpo Giannis. I don't know why. Completely preoccupied, but that's really Bush League of me, and I apologize. That's not cool. Y'all deserve better than that, and I'm sorry about that. Honestly, don't know why I did that. I made a fuss years ago when no one could pronounce Antetokounmpo. And I was a stickler for that. I was a stickler when Chick Hearn pronounced Jeff Hornacek Hornacek. I went crazy over that. So of all the people to be mispronouncing a name and not checking myself, very guilty. Thank you for pointing that out. As I said, make sure if I screw up, you let me know. Be nice, but let me know, and I will apologize and rectify the situation. Thank you for the check. Explicit Intel. I think you are new. Welcome to Suns Latest. Appreciate having you. Colin Gillespie has been magnificent. These court floors disgust me. Only thing good about the cup is they play a little harder, that's all. Yeah, they mess with my eyes too. I know why they're doing all this. It's a sponsorship, and the winning team for the cup gets $500,000 per player. That's it. It's a weird way to generate interest. At the same time, if your team wins, if the Suns win the cup, that's cool. But the last 2 teams who won the cup didn't do much in the playoffs, and that was the Bucks, that was the Lakers, and then the Bucks. So yes, it's a neat whatever, but we all know why we're in the league, and we all know why we're playing, and the cup ain't it. Curious Mind 2525. Sacramento to me is like that tweener between Frisco and Reno. Hello, sir. I talked about playing the Kings, and I worked in Sacramento for 4 years. And I didn't like it. And as I said earlier, it wasn't Sacramento's fault. It is the city that it is. It was me. I didn't fit. But being 90 minutes from San Francisco was pretty cool. Being, 90 minutes from Napa and Sonoma and all that stuff was cool. So anyway, I started talking a lot about Sacramento, and that's that. And then a new Sun, this person is definitely not a Sunscriber. This person is a hater. At Hitman X25. Hey, Hitman. Why am I listening to you tap about Sacramento? Me. I don't know. Why would you listen to anyone tap about Sacramento? And that is what you wrote, man. Own it. Hitman, well, to my credit, nothing in the title suggests that I would have to whenever I clicked. Correct? Me, sure. So this is what you do all day? Hitman, watch videos on YouTube? For the most part, yes. Me, congratulations. There are people like this, aren't there? By the way, Hitman edited his tap. Why would I listen to you? Why am I listening to you tap about Sacramento? He edited his tap to yap. And we haven't heard from him since. Let's see. Felipe Gaspar, Suns fan from Brazil. I saw the best. I saw Barkley. Oh, that's really cool. Welcome. Hey, thanks for chiming in. That's really cool. N. Stecker. Hi, Ruben. Hello, N. Stecker. Ruben's my last name, FYI. A lot of people actually just call me by my last name. I don't care. I agree. The officiating is bad. I'm just not sure if the NBA is in on it. That's fair. I hinted that might be going on. I think with the palming and traveling and guys like Harden back in the day and now SGA, there's an unwritten law. There's a rule. There's something going on. I don't have proof. I'm just telling you what I see. That would change my feelings. I watch games every day. I love watching the players, especially the Suns. That's good. I just don't want to get disappointed. But if so, it is what it is. Well, that means, you're okay with it. Not okay with it, but you still are finding the entertainment factor more important than if a game is fixed or not. I understand that. I'm not happy about it, but I understand it. I'm still watching, and I think there's something going on sometimes. What do you think? Thanks. I enjoy watching you every day. Let's go Suns. I would like for the Suns to win the Emirates Cup. That'll be something different. At least we get to win something. All right. And Stacker, you're a little bit cynical, and I get it, but at least we're having a good season. We're winning. We're above 500. We just gave the champs probably their best test of the year besides their loss to Portland. We're winning a lot. We win one game this year. That's better than anybody outside of Phoenix expected. I believe that with any powerful and lucrative organization like the NBA, there's simply going to be an unethical element. Since the beginning of time, there's always an unethical element, especially if something is lucrative as the NBA. Refs, players, coaches, even owners, they're not immune. Some may be in deep, some may be caught up in something they know nothing about. Chauncey Billups just pleaded not guilty, to being part of a mafia gambling ring and poker games. He's Chauncey Billups. Sterling reputation, good guy, loved by everybody, Hall of Famer, 4-time All-Star, NBA champ, Mr. Big Shot. Not everybody is immune, and you never know how involved somebody is, or if somebody's lightly involved, how much deeper it gets. We don't know. And it's really okay not to know. There's nothing wrong with talking about it. There's nothing wrong with speculating. There's nothing wrong with thinking, yeah, this is effed up. But we do not know unless you're one of the people that's in it. We just don't know. It's hard to prove because as fans, we rely on the twists and turns, good calls, bad calls, upsets, domination, dynasties, teams that have been in the cellar forever. We expect that. That's what we're conditioned to talk about. That's what makes the sport great. If I knew how to clean things up, I'd offer a solution. To start, I don't even know where to start. They legalize freaking gambling in the NBA. So where are you going to start? And what's the line? Even after the scandal with Donaghy, nothing really changed. Every now and then, yeah, he's not allowed to be in the league anymore. But it's never just one guy. Hammered on PHX. Too much De Niro is his response to it. Too easy to control the outcome of a game for a seasoned ref. Legalized gambling makes it worse. Last year they changed the rules mid-season. Legalized gambling, we're never going to go back. So this is the NBA. Joshua Thompson. Why the clickbait titles? Anonymous Rex responds before I can. It gets people here. Once you're here, enjoy. I bitched about this too at first, but I don't really care because the show is really good. Thank you very much. Hey, Joshua, how long have you ever been on the internet? That's all I'm going to say. And Joseph Tomioka, it's called being a content creator. You can call it clickbait, but whatever gets your eyes to the content. It's not about the title. Think about it this way. If you were an assistant manager at Baskin-Robbins, and you had been there for 3 years, and you were still an assistant manager, and you thought you deserved a raise, and you went into the boss and you said, hi, I want to be manager and I want a raise. And it's like, I can't make you manager and I definitely can't give you a raise. And he says, oh, I need something or I'm out of here. And it's like, tell you what, I'll give you the title of manager. All right, 1 more year as manager and then we'll give you a raise. And you say, okay, you just went for the title, which means nothing. I hope that answers your question. Stefano Martino, hi, Suns fan from Italy. Buongiorno. Is Is that right? Hello. Hi. Thank you for being a Suns fan. Why are you a Suns fan? Ask Monkey Touch. Anonymous Rex says, why not? Stefano, I love the Suns since the Nash era. I loved him, and I love the colors and the story. Also, Arizona. In 2027, I'm coming to Phoenix for vacation. Welcome to Suns Latest. Go Suns. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Oh wait, I do have some NBA news, but just a little bit, and it has to do with Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak. So 30 points, 15 rebounds, and 8 assists. This is going to be called Freak Watch, by the way, and I'm going to get to it. 30 points, 15 rebounds, and 8 assists in 28 minutes, but the Bucks lose 118-109 to the team Giannis Antetokounmpo will be on by the trade deadline, the Knicks. 7 straight losses for the Bucks, something they haven't done since 2014. The Freak said, quote, maybe it's a scoring load, maybe you got to make plays, maybe you think it is your opportunity to get more shots, but that's not how you win games. That's not how you build culture. At the end of the day, you got to come in, do your job, do what you're paid to do, defend, do the little things. And sometimes when you worry about doing the little things, all the other things add up, end quote. This is the most he's ever spoken about being disappointed with the team. He's hinted at it before. He's mentioned stuff like this before. How you build culture, that's a direct dig at Doc Rivers. At the end of the day, you got to come in and do your job. That's a direct dig at his teammates. The Freak is going away, most likely to the Knicks by the trade deadline, mark my words. We're not going to do the hustler of the day, the super sub of the day, because I got to get my butt to the Laker game and report on that, but we will do it tomorrow. So we'll talk about the Laker game, and we'll get back to super sub, and there might be more Freak Watch, but mark my words, the Freak will not be a buck by the trade deadline, at minimum by the end of the season. Thank you for watching Suns Latest. Be a Sunscriber if you like. If you don't want to, that's fine. I appreciate you watching. Go Suns.